Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you I'm a legend. From YO to the Veil to the Mongo spot on Creston. Always been 1,000, never ever been a lame. Lay a nigga down for these 3 letters on my chain.
Top of the top, y'all. What's going on? This is your man J Hood, and you are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Tales from the Hood vlog series, man. You know how a nigga give it up. I need everybody to go stream or download my brand new project entitled S.E.L.F. from all digital streaming platforms. And while you at it, make sure you get the Pesci trilogy also, man. Part 1, 2, and 3. Classic shit that you need. Trust me when I tell you. You heard? All right, so look. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a real special guy. You know what I mean? Somebody that's real dear to me that we all miss. And that person is Stack Bundles, right? R.I.P to my nigga Stack. That's a lot I could say about Stack, man. I start by saying that out of all the people that came out around, you know, my era, he's like one of the cats that I sincerely admired and that I really respected and fucked with like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we really like had this type of admiration for one another. So I really fucked with him. You know what I'm saying? We only had a chance to do about 2 tracks with him and shit, unfortunately, but you know, those 2 tracks were dope, and I'm gonna tell y'all how they came about, all right? So, the funny thing about me and Stack, man, like every time, like, I used to be out, like, all the time, you know what I mean, during the early 2000s. When I say out, I mean, like, at all the clubs in New York City, you know what I mean? Like, every weekend, me and my niggas would be everywhere. Like, you name a club, we there. Like, faithfully, you know what I mean? I'm talking about every weekend, like twice every weekend type shit. Everywhere you turn, J Hood is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some crazy shit. So I used to run in the Stack all the time. Like, everywhere I used to go, I used to see him. He used to run into me, I ran into him. It got to a point where we ran into each other so much that nigga used to be like, yo, bro, nigga, on God, nigga, you the only nigga out of all the fucking rap niggas that's around our fucking class that I see all the fucking time, nigga. You the only nigga that I see, man. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, I'm always bumping into you. Like, we used to be laughing at that shit, like, nigga. And I used to tell him the same thing, like, nigga, I'm always bumping into you. This shit crazy and shit. So every time we seen each other, it was love. You know what I mean? Like, we saluted each other. We used to, you know, we exchanged numbers early, and we kept a relationship with one another, an open line and shit. So, we ended up doing this freestyle, I'm from New York freestyle, the Ja Rule, Kiss, and Fat Joe joint, if I'm not mistaken. And then we did it for the Come Up DVD. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't too crazy about doing this freestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really didn't want to do it. It was me, Stack, and Gravy. I'm not sure if it was my guy Jordan Towers or if it was Fendi that kind of asked me to do it and got me to do it, because like I said, I didn't really want to do it, because I'm like, you know what, Kiss is already on this joint, you know, and it's bubbling, and you know, I just wasn't too crazy about the idea of getting on there. And if you listen to it, you know, maybe you could tell that I didn't really want to get on it, because I wasn't really too, like I said, too crazy about jumping on the shit. But nonetheless, I did it, and it was me, Stack, and Gravy, and it came out, and you know, people fuck with it and shit. So that was the first track. We ended up doing a video also. We wasn't all together. We shot our videos in different locations. I did mine like in Manhattan. Gravy did his shit somewhere in Brooklyn, and Stack did his shit in Fall Rock, I think. Okay, so all right, before I get into the next track, right, I'm gonna tell y'all guys a funny situation. Me and Stack was in I forgot what strip club it was, but we was in some strip club. This is the type of relationship me and him had, right? Now, I'm not saying me and him was the tightest niggas out. We was besties and none of that type of shit, but we was cool. You feel me? So, like I said, we was in a strip club one day. He seen me talking to this one chick from Jersey. You feel me? Like, that obviously he knew or had some type of relationship with on some type of level. And while I'm talking to this chick, he's speaking to some other chick that I had my eyes on and all that shit. So he seen me talking to the chick. So he hit me with like one of those type of shit. So I'm laughing and shit. So like maybe like a week and a half later, some shit, I speak to this nigga on the jack. He called me and shit. I'm like, it was good, boy. He like, yo, you got such and such number? And he talking about the chick that I was talking to in the club. Now I don't know if Stack had a girl or none of that type of shit. So if he had a lady, no disrespect or none of that type of shit. This ain't what this is. I'm not trying to throw nothing around. I'm just trying to tell you what me and my homie was talking about. Like, you know what I mean? So no disrespect. But he was like, yo, you got such and such number? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I got you. I was like, yo, nigga, you got blah, blah, blah number? He like, yeah. I'm like, all right, so let me get that, man. So we basically exchanged chicks' numbers. Like, now I gave him Shorty number, he gave me the other chick number and shit. That shit was hilarious, you feel me? So we laughed about that. And that was funny as hell. And okay, so the next time we did a track together, I had called him up. This is around the time I was going to a studio in the Bronx. This was probably like during the time period when I was like separating myself from the locks and shit, like right at the, probably in the middle time of that, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't no like beefing going on as far as like on wax and none of that shit, but you know, people that was around knew. So I'm going to this studio that was in this kid's house in the Bronx, like right off of Jerome and shit. So I called Stack up. You know, we were speaking about doing another track anyway. You feel me? So I told him to pull up to the Bronx. So he pulled up, right? I remember like yesterday. He came with one other dude, one of his homies. Nigga pull up in a silver Porsche Boxster. He couldn't find no parking on the block. So I had to come downstairs and tell him where to park at and shit. So he parked. What up, nigga? Like, now me got the call, the shit was shaking, boy, da, da, da. You know, we walked upstairs in the building. You know, he told me like, yo, shit is this? I'm like, that's my little man shit. You know what I mean? We Gucci, get up in there and shit. You know, we sitting down, we chopping it up and all that. You know, we talking. He like, yo, now this is one thing he used to always tell me too. Every time I seen him, like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie, nigga, you fucking buzzing, nigga. Your shit, you buzzing like crazy, nigga, on these fucking tapes. I used to be like, nigga, you buzzing, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, shit like that. But we sitting down chopping it up in the boy studio. And he like, damn, you ain't fucking with these niggas like that no more? I'm like, yeah, but nah, like, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean, type shit. He like, okay, I feel you. You know what I mean? And we ain't like really get too deep into it because that's not what, you know, he was there for. So we just proceeded to, you know, to write to the track that I had loaded up and shit. So, you know, we writing. And I ain't gonna lie to you. He got me on this track. And I told him, I'm like, nigga, after he laid, I'm like, ooh, you motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, you got me. You got me on this shit right here. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You like, man, stop it, nigga. I'm like, nah, you got me. You like, nah, nigga, you dropped that shit. I'm like, nigga, stop it. You got me on that shit. I ain't gonna hold you up. You got me. So, you know, he dropped the shit. Like I said, I had him in the Bronx, and that was a like real historic time, man. And you know, it was all love. The love that we had for one another was genuine. And I'm not sure, after we laid that track, it was called New York Giants. I'm like, yo, let's call this shit New York Giants, man. He's like, yeah, that's dope. And we discussed doing more tracks, but unfortunately, we never got to do any more. You know, I had brought the idea up of doing a whole mixtape, and he was with it. But like I said, we didn't, you know, get to build on that. We only had got to do those 2 tracks. I'm not sure if that was the last time that I seen him. I probably seen him like one more other time after that. But it was like some real short type shit. It was on some what up, you know, in the club on some walk by type shit. And then unfortunately, you know, he passed away and shit like that. But, you know, that was a good dude. I fucked with him heavy. You know, I didn't go to his funeral because I didn't want to, you know, see him like that. I didn't want to remember him like that. But, you know, even to this day, man, when his name is brought up, the niggas speak about him, I got nothing but the utmost for him and shit. You feel me? Like, that was a nigga that was solid. Every time he seen me, he showed love. It was genuine, and I felt it. I'm all about energy. His energy was always where it needed to be. And, you know, even to this day, condolences to his family. Stack, R.I.P. Fuck with that nigga forever. He was always a real one to me. And, you know, he always gonna be a real one to me, so salute to him, man. Squad up. Matter of fact, another thing too, before I fucking close this story out. one thing that I always did with any rapper that I fucked with like that that I was cool with, I would, like, every time I see him, I would imitate him and shit. So every time I bumped in the stack, I see him, I'd be like, what up? He'd be like, he start laughing and shit. I'm like, nigga, gorgeous gangster, nigga. You know what I mean? He start laughing and all that. Like anybody else. J.R. Wright, I see that nigga, I'd be like, the writer of all writers. You know what I'm saying? Like Gravy. When we laid that track, I see Gravy, I'd be like, Gravy, baby. You know what I mean? Like, niggas be laughing and shit like that. But, you know, that's something that I used to do with that nigga too. So, like I said, R.I.P. Stack. And, yeah, like always, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And before I get up out of here, any upcoming unsigned artists or brands that are interested in getting promotion on anything, whether it be a product or a project or anything, we're offering promotional packages on the Tales from the Hood vlog series, as well as all of my social media accounts. If you're interested in learning anything about those packages, you can contact me via DM on Instagram or hit me on the email that's located in the description box below, and we could chop it up, as well as a feature and all that. You know what I mean? If you want to do a feature, if you're an upcoming artist, we can make that shake too. I'm working with all budgets. Just make sure it's respectable and make sure the song is dope. You feel me? So let's get it popping. All right, man. Until next time. Tales from the Hood.